on this. So how we do that, Steve, I don't know. You lost me a little bit with the.
Well,
The first condition states that it shall include landscaping of the area of the property within the first 20 meters of the shoreline and the new driveway installed within the first 20 meters.
right.
So I'm reading that to say the driveway area needs to be landscaped
That's right. And
back to a more natural condition.
that's right.
Okay.
Now, how it gets there, it's as the Councillor Fellner may know, site plan control is a delegated function unless to the director. So we work with the applicants to come up with a satisfactory landscape design. You'll notice also in that condition, it refers to the guidelines for waterfront design in Seguin Township. That was a design guideline that was passed by the previous council. So we can use that as a tool to ensure that the shoreline area is naturalized to council's wishes. The other thing about site plan control is that should matters be of particular interest to council, the director can send that site plan application to council for their consideration. So that's possibilities as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to accept the motion? Karen Stewart. Okay, I will read the motion. That the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0006C Tate to permit demolition of an existing 23.23 square meter cottage having an existing non-complying shoreline setback of 13.23 meters and replaced with a new 158 square meter cottage, and request variance to the following sections of zoning bylaw 2006-125. Section 6.3, table 6.3, maximum lot coverage within 60 meters of the shoreline equals 8%. The proposed new cottage would result in lot coverage of 8.25%, requiring a variance of 0.25%. Number 2, section 4.17C, table 4.1, column 3. Maximum dwelling shoreline width increase equals 30%. Maximum width equals 5.1 meters. The new cottage would have a shoreline width of 11.06 meters, requiring a variance of 5.94 meters. Subject to the following conditions: that development of the new cottage shall be subject to site plan control pursuant to section 41 of the Planning Act. Matters to be addressed through the resulting site plan control between the property owner and the township of Seguin shall be in keeping with the guidelines for waterfront design in Seguin Township and shall include the landscaping of the area of the property within the first 20 meters of the shoreline and the new driveway installed within the first 20 meters of the shoreline. And 2, that an Ontario land surveyor verify by pinning the foundation of the new cottage and verifying in writing by way of survey, a real property report prior to the pouring of the footing, that the new cottage is located no closer than 13.23 meters from the present water's edge or high water mark of the shoreline, whichever is greater. Any more questions? Terry?
Yeah, I'd like the site plan control to be the approval of council. The condition modified.
Sorry,
I think it needs to come to council. I think there was 2 bylaw infractions there. I think the remedy needs to come to council. I don't know what everybody else's thought is. I mean,
So-
consensus.
So the resolutions to approve subject to the, so that's an amended resolution. The site plan control bylaw currently delegates to the directors, but that That could be a process that goes to council once committee approves this. We could just elevate it to a council approval as opposed to doing a director's decision. If that satisfies. So we can leave the resolution as is, and then at the staff level, take it to council for review once the agreement's drafted.
Fine. Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Okay.
Motion is carried.
Okay, so for the Tates, the application's approved, and you'll get a notice of decision in the next few days, and we're in the 20-day appeal period. What the next step will be is to fill out or pre-consult with staff to start the site plan control process.
Adam,
Yes.
who would we go to see about site plan control? Who would be that person?
Myself or Steve.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So right now we can't set up a meeting inside, I don't believe, right?
Sorry, inside.
The building, are people going in the building now? So when would we set up this,
Township building.
the township building, sorry?
Yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow. We could either, we could meet here as long as we physically distance, or we could have a chat on the phone, or we could even meet via Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And we need to start that process soon then?
Yeah, we're in a 20-day appeal period now, but in the next few days, we'll start with a pre-consultation meeting with staff, and we'll go over the process and what's needed for that site plan approval. But we'll have further discussion on who's ultimately going to approve that site plan agreement and that drawing. And it sounds like that might be a council decision. If an exemption is needed to the fill bylaw, that would have to go to council anyway.
And okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, no, that's, we'll do whatever we need to do to make it so that we can build our cottage.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll ask the secretary treasurer to introduce the second application.
Application A 2020-0010C is, this was an application that originally appeared before committee in 2018. And due to several factors that were outlined in the staff report, the applicants are back before us for some amended variances for cottage width, reduction in front yard setback, and maximum floor area increase. The staff report contained all the background. No correspondence was received in relation to this application.
Is there anyone present who would like to speak to this application?
I'd like to make a few comments if I could.
Okay. Just tell us who you are, please.
Excuse me.
My name is Joe. I'm one of the owners of the property in question. If you've all read through the recommendations, we have made some changes to the property. We worked with Steve Stone. Lane, the builder, is also on the top right-hand corner of your screen, or at least he is on mine. So we've been working with Steve. Part of the question was the erosion along the shoreline. There was one of you that came out. I don't remember which one I spoke to when you came out to see me, but there's a large rock that goes out into the water. With the wave action that was undermining the tree that was sitting on that rock, and that tree went over. So rather than cutting other trees to install a dock, we figured that would be a great place so that we could minimize how many things we needed to cut and move. That got counted as shoreline erosion, which changed the setback by about 7 feet. Part of our plan was this spring to get a landscape plan approved by township, and to address what had happened along the shoreline with the wave action. That has taken place through the process of the application being put in and today. Part of my question or issue is the shoreline erosion. I'm not sure that we should be penalized for that as far as setback. So when you look at this application, if you don't know the background, it looks like we were granted a variance and then thought, well, that's not good enough. We're just going to do it here anyway. And I just want to make it clear that that's not the case. As Steve noted in his thing, we have built it exactly according to the plans that we were granted, that the variance was granted for last year. There were a few minor things that happened. One was the shoreline erosion. The other one is the log cabin that was on the survey is actually physically different size than what the survey shows. We referenced off a log cabin to build the cottage. And it wasn't until the erosion kind of made us look closer that a closer look was taken, and that's where the error came in. So I just wanted to make it clear to the members that this isn't something that Joe decided we're going to change it and who cares. We're trying to be compliant in every step of the way. We're trying to observe the view from the canoe, as you guys say it. Last year, I actually had the boat in the water that I could take pictures of what the property looked like. I know that one of the members of Committee of Adjustment lives on the lake, so he may be able to speak to what it looks like from the lake. But I hope that you guys can see that what we're trying to get a variance for here is not something that's we're far reaching for.
Okay. Are there any questions? A lot of head shaking. Okay, can I have a mover and a seconder for this application, please? Terry, Stewart?
I made it back.
Okay, yep.
Okay, I'll read the motion. That the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves variance application A 2020-0010C, Dimmering, to permit the following revised variance to zoning bylaw 2006-125. 1, section 4.17, bracket C, table 4.1, column 2. Maximum dwelling floor increase within 20-meter front yard equal 57 square meters. 103 square meters has already been approved. A total of 183.76 square meters of floor area would be located within the 20-meter front yard, requiring a variance of 80.76 square meters above existing approval. 2, section 4.17C, table 4.1, column 3. Maximum dwelling shoreline width increase equals 30% or 8.87 meters. 14.99 meters was approved before. The cottage shoreline width would increase to 18.48 meters, requiring a variance of 3.49 meters above the existing approval. 3, section 6.3, table 6.2, minimum front yard setback equals 20 meters. Previously existing cottage non-complying front yard setback equals 17.47 meters. Deck shoreline setback equal 14.76 meters. The cottage under construction now is a shoreline setback of 15.73 meters, requiring a variance of 2.71 meters above existing. And the proposed deck now has a shoreline setback of 11.41 meters, requiring a variance of 3.35 meters above existing approval. Is there any further questions or comments? All in favor? Then that's carried.
Okay, so the application's approved. We will send out a notice of the decision within the next few days. And we're just in the 20-day appeal period as of now.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I've lost the agenda.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay, is there any other business?
If there's
No, you lost me because my computer crashed.
okay. Yeah, just
Hey, Adam, Mr. Chair, through has any decision been made to fill the vacant seat? How we're gonna do that? It hasn't really been.
I haven't heard anything. That's going to have to be a council decision.
Okay,
Let you know when I hear more.
okay, it's just I haven't seen anything come across council, so I don't know whether we're bothering to do anything during this COVID thing or.
As long as we have 3, we have quorum. So again, I don't know, it'll have to be up to council. You know, a member of council can forward it as an item, but really, I don't have anything to do with that decision.
Okay, so how does this ability to have the meeting by Zoom now, is that only because of the current status in the province? Or is that so what happens when this crisis is over? Would members still be able to attend by Zoom, let's say, if they were away for a month or two, or what? Because we were going to have an issue for quorum would be in the winter time, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question.
But that way we could have our chairman all year round.
Yeah.
He might not
Adam?
like that.
Wonderful.
I usually
Adam?
only play golf in the morning, so.
I was gonna say it probably won't cut into his golf time, so probably be amenable to that, but that might be a good solution, you know?
Michelle, did you have something?
Yeah, Adam. Right now, the only reason that council can actually attend by Zoom is because of the change in our procedural bylaw, and it's a direct result of the state of emergency that is in effect in the province. When the state of emergency ends, council can no longer attend electronically. And I believe that extends to the committees.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you can do that once the state of emergency expires. Now, we don't know how long the state of emergency is going to end or going to last, so.
Yeah, I think, Michelle, the way I understood it was for the council meetings, definitely it was a measure put in by the province to deal with council meetings. But I'm not so sure that the committee meetings aren't more preview of the perhaps the committee itself or the township itself. I remember Craig saying something, but it'd be worth looking into, I think, you know? Because,
it would. I mean, your committee is a little different because of the legislative requirements that you have to meet and the Planning Act. And so it's a little bit different for things like recreation committees. But that's something we're going to be starting to talk about next week because the management staff is actually starting to look at, you know, reopening and how we're going to move through the next stage of this. So I'll talk to Craig about that tomorrow. And hopefully we can have an answer for the committee for your next meeting, Adam.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Any applications for next month?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to reiterate procedurally. So tonight we had a resolution, and so the committee sees all the resolutions ahead of time. What would normally happen is the resolution on the table is to approve. If a committee member wishes to amend that resolution or table a different resolution, it should be done right away. So for example, if the resolution was to approve, let's say, and Stuart, you had concerns and you wanted a deferral, you would say, once the question period was over, Stuart, you would then put your hand up and say, for whatever reason, I don't feel comfortable. I would like to defer this application. And then the chair would have to say, okay, I need a mover and seconder. And if there was only a mover and no seconder because the other committee members didn't think it needed to be deferred, that resolution would be defeated. Then we would move on back to the original resolution. So we had, I believe with Tate, we had read the resolution and then we were in the question period on the resolution. And then Terry, I think you had thought, okay, maybe we can amend this resolution. That just procedurally, that request would have been done before Jim had read it. So
fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's just a little reminder. And then once the resolution's read, procedurally, the time for committee questions and deliberation on the application is before the resolution is read. Once the resolution is read, the questions are strictly based on the resolution itself. We don't go back into deliberation of the application at that point. And then at that point, that's where, all in favor, and if then it's passed or it's not. So it just keeps things moving a little bit more organized, that's all.
Okay. Any applications for next month, Adam?
I've got a few that they say they want to apply, but I haven't heard anything yet. So there might be a few, there might be like 5 or 6. It just depends on when they get in. I'm going to say I think there's going to be 2 at least.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, our volume's obviously down, but
Yeah.
it's taking longer to get builders, I understand, because everybody's backlogged and some are working, some aren't. So
Nobody can hire anybody because they're getting $2,000 a month from the government.
Yeah, no kidding. That's why the restaurants aren't opening up. They can't get any cooks.
Yeah.
Making more money staying at home.
Mm.
No, they're out cutting grass at Rocky Crest.
Okay, can I have
Actually, hang on a second,
No?
Jim.
You're gonna,
I just want to let Adam know that when my computer crashed, I tried to call you through the township, and
Okay.
it just went straight to voicemail. I couldn't get through to you. Fortunately, my computer rebooted and I got back into the meeting.
Stuart, are you in front of your phone right now?
No, I'm in front of my computer.
No, sorry. Do you have your phone handy?
Yes, I do.
Can you call me right now? Because I didn't hear my phone ring. Let's just see if it
Well,
works.
it went through the township,
Yeah.
and I just punched in your extension number, and it just went straight to voicemail.
Oh, you know what? I think because it's on night
It
mode.
gets 235. And yeah, I got told the township office was closed.
Hello.
Oh, okay. This
Okay.
time it worked.
Okay, it rang. Yeah, it might have something to do with it being on night mode. I'll ask Donna tomorrow about that.
Okay.
Okay.
okay, motion to adjourn. Stuart, Terry. All in favor? Committee of Adjustment of the Corporation Township here does hereby adjourn at 5:20 p.m. on Wednesday. Committee will hold its next hearing at 4:30 on Wednesday, July 8th. Or the call of the chair unless the Secretary Treasurer has not received complete applications for committee consideration. Thank you, everyone.
Adios.
Yo, thanks.
Enjoy the heat.
Yeah.
For a while.
Well, I think there's a big storm coming in from the looks of it, eh?
Yep.
Might just miss us, but
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
right now.